Hello, it's Tennille, your Cloth Nappy Doctor. How you going? How was your Easter? Was it a little bit mad? A little bit exciting? Alrighty, so this one got postponed last week just because life happens. So this little live video is all about the cloth nappy. You need this and you need that and the number of accessories you don't need when you have a baby, but you buy anyway. You go, why did I buy that? So with cloth nappying, it can be sort of the same too, that you end up buying stuff. Yeah, I didn't need that. Why did I buy it? And when you're getting started, you get your packages and there's all this other stuff in it and you think, oh, I really need that. So I want to talk about the things you actually need to do cloth nappying with success, and when all those other accessories and those other things you can buy come into play and why you might need them. So the first thing you need, and if you're there, say hello, give a shout out, tell me where you're from, tell me if you ate too much chocolate over Easter. I did already. So first thing you need is cloth nappies, obviously, but you also need a washing machine. You do need one of those. You need somewhere to dry them, some place to hang them up and dry them in a warm, sunny position. If it's a cold day, somewhere where you can get near a window, you can get that UV and that light through and is dry. So sometimes your laundry can be your hottest part of the house and the driest there, but that's the best spot. Anyway, you also need that. And if you find one of these, a folding fairy. You really need a folding fairy. So if you find one, let me know. I'm still looking, but I can't find one. So I'm still folding Abby's nappies. So washing machine, somewhere to dry them, and a folding fairy. Good luck with the third. Now, so you've got your nappies. You bought your part-time pack, full-time pack, 1 nappy, 6 nappies, whatever you've bought, it doesn't matter. You use them. Okay, you pull them apart. You're ready to wash them. You use them. So you need somewhere to store your nappies. You don't want to store them in a bucket with the lid on, so all those germs and ooey gooey bits all start to stink, because you dry pale cloth nappies. You don't soak them. Okay? Some people may soak, but generally you don't soak them. So you need some sort of storage that has airflow. These you can pick up from your $2 shop. These are what we use to pick your orders at Apokali. Got a whole heap of them. Okay, so you can use this. Look at all that lovely airflow. That prevents the stink. It really does. If you're washing more often, less often, so every, say, 2 to 3 days. So this is good if you're washing every 1 to 2 days. The smell shouldn't be overwhelming unless you're doing night nappies, but you need somewhere to store them. So that's one option. I put mine straight into the washing machine because that's the first load I do every morning. Your other option is a really big PUL wet bag. This one's a funky fluff. They can hang up, put them on a coat hanger and put them over your door, the end of your change table, and when you've finished. The good thing with these, if the nappy is a little bit wet, it's not going to soak through. So even if you do rinse them and wring them out well, you can put them straight into here. So that's great for newborn up to about 1 year, 18 months, when you're still changing about 10 nappies a day. Okay, so there's one option. All right, so they got snap-on hooks. So there's lots of different options now for you. Now, there's another one. If you like Minky, you can now get them in Minky, and they've got the snap-on hooks as well. This is a baby Behinds Minky. Also nice and big. A lot of parents use these after they've done cloth nappies to take their towels to the beach. So everything you buy with cloth nappies, you're going to use again. I'm using my baby Behinds inserts after about 7 years as watercolour little pad things. Everything gets reused. Alright. Another option. Hey, lady. How you going? Now, if you've got this one, you're going to end up with puddle. Pail liners. You can use the pail liners. Some parents love them, some parents don't. There are so many options. You can get what works for you. You're not locked into one solution. So these are the Planet-Wise pail liners. They do not stay on the shelf. They're nice and big. They do trash can ones now. They'll be coming in. So there you go. Really cool. Put your nappies in there. When you're finished, you're at the washing machine. You wash this as well. Okay, wash this as well. Take it. There you go. Nice and big. So you need somewhere to store your nappies. Number one, first thing you need is somewhere to store your nappies. You can put them into an airflow container. You can put them into a big wet bag. You can put them straight into your machine. The second thing you need is some sort of PUL. Hi, Kim. Glad you could be here. Let me know where you're from. Really want to know. All right, so you need a wet bag. That's the second thing you need is a wet bag. Now, the wet bags, there's lots of different types, and what you need to think about is how am I going to use this wet bag? So this wet bag is used to have your nappies in a place so you can get going. So there's, again, quite a few options. There are single pocket wet bags. Now, if you have, Gold Coast, you're getting ready for the Commonwealth Games. I'm getting all the notifications basically saying do not travel. All right. Now, if you have a bub with really stinky poos, okay, you want to look for a wet bag that has a thicker PUL if you have a bub with stinky poos. So I know a good friend of mine had a young boy and they had to go outside the front doors. And I remember when she was here, it was, you can still come through the door. One of my boys was as well. So a thicker PUL, which the baby behinds do have, will help contain those smells compared to those single layer PUL wet bags. So you can do, say you have a nappy bag and your nappies are in your nappy bag, you can use this one for your dirties. That's one option. Hello, Erin. Oh, Brisbane. Which part of Brisbane? Let me know. Oh, Compa from Melbourne. I was just there last month at the Mummy Con. It was excellent. Okay, so if you're going out and about and you've got that travel bag, your nappy bag, and you keep the nappies in your nappy bag, and it's a mad dash out, or you're I don't know, whatever. You can get double pocket wet bags. Now this is the Planet-Wise wet and dry bag. Hey Trudy, it's all right, love. You're allowed to be late. You're a mum. You're always doing 6 other things. Glad you're here, sweetheart. Pipe in with any comments if you want to add clarification. So Trudy's here, guys. So if you're going out and about, or let's say your nappy bag doesn't allow you to store your nappies in there because it's too small, or you've got to take a whole heap of other stuff in your nappy bag, you can get a double pocket wet bag, put your clean ones in the front, and then in these Planet-Wise wet and dry bag, the back pocket is waterproof. They have patent stitching on them to be leakage proof. So it's really tight. It's really good. Alright, so their back pocket helps keep in those smells and those dirty nappies. So that's the second thing. So your first one is storing. Second one is a wet bag. Some sort of wet bag. Don't go for the plastic bags. These are still breathable, so it's still going to get that airflow through your nappy. Okay, so wet bags. And there's little wet bags, there's big wet bags, there's lard, there's minky, you think of something, it will have it. South side on Stones Corner, Erin. That's close, that's near Abbey School. Welcome, welcome. All right, the third thing you are going to need are boosters. And a variety of different types of boosters. This is one of the things that Trudy and I both see a lot, is you buy your set of nappies, 1 brand, 2 brands, 20 brands, whatever you have, and you have the inserts, and then for some reason, Bub gets a sore bum, Bub's teething, Bub has an extra bottle at night, Bub has an extra feed, a breastfeed, is cluster feeding, Bub is onto solids, they're doing bigger poos. Who knows? They all of a sudden are starting to sleep 6 hours and you're going, yes. But those nappies you bought don't have enough boosting. So I would suggest getting a range of, Comedy says, as per the power liners, don't they prevent air flowing freely? Just asking. No, the PUL, like in the nappies, allow airflow to move through. So they're not waterproof, so none of your nappies are waterproof. Oh, go away. Oh, sorry guys. Computer's going, woo! Alrighty, so yes, Compa, I hope I'm saying that properly, I'm really sorry. They are, like your nappies, they allow air to flow through. So your nappies aren't waterproof, they are water resistant. So you can't hold a nappy, and there's some really great videos on YouTube that show you some water moisture coming through the PUL. So they're not waterproof like a bucket. Okay, they're designed to have enough absorbency, they're not going to leak. They're designed to grab the absorbency and provide a outer cover that isn't going to leak water. Hope that makes sense. All right. Hi, Amy. I'm liking this. You got a cheapy wet bag in the early days and is useless. BBH are fantastic. Absolutely. So you're going to get what you pay for. And if you're not sure, ask the question of somebody. So some of the cheap ones are inflated in price because it's got a really great print. They're usually a thinner PUL, and you can usually tell because you can really stretch it on some of them, depending on the brand. You can't stretch this. It hasn't got that same stretch of the cheaper ones. Alrighty, so you can look. I've got some of those really cheap wet bags too. They're not that. They do the job for one thing, not to keep them in. Oh, glad that helps. Compa, really good. Okay, so there's your wet bag. So, somewhere to store your nappy, you need a wet bag, and how do I turn this off? Well, that's strange, isn't it? Anyway, we'll work it out. Alrighty, so the other, there we go. You need boosters. You need boosters because things happen all of a sudden when you have a baby. If you have an average, boring baby, that is fabulous. I love average, boring babies who just go through and do the thing. But if you have a child who all of a sudden sleeps, poos, whatever, it doesn't matter. So what do you need? The good old bamboo trifold is great to have in your stash because you can fold it different ways to fit different nappies depending on the width of the groin to go in. If you have a boy, you can fold it in 3 here and get more absorbency at the front. These are a fabulous addition to any nappy stash. So if you can get your hands on some trifold boosters, fabulous, because it gives you some customization of the absorbency. If you have a bub who has poos that are really loose for whatever reason, and 2 of my kids did do, we found a terry helps keep that poo there and suck it up a little bit quicker. I know that's gross, but there you go. So another trifold booster. This one is, so that was baby behinds, and this one's simply cloth. We do these ones ourselves because we saw a gap in the market for those parents who wanted something. So it's 2 layers, nice and thick and thirsty. So you can fold it in 3, fold it in half. So you can even use it as a newborn nappy as well, insert. And if for some reason you run out of inserts in your nappy and you've got a heap of boosters of some kind, you've got inserts. So these are your changes. So sometimes you don't need your 36 nappies, you need 36 changes. There you go. I agree, Mandy, the baby behinds is super, super thirsty. Trim and thirsty is what you want, and that's in the weight of the material. It's a heavy weighted material, therefore it can hold more volume. Awesome. Okay, other ones you might want to look at, if you have a bub who does, who, say you don't like bamboo for some reason, you don't like the idea of bamboo, or you want something that is quicker to absorb compared to bamboo, because bamboo can sometimes be a little bit slower to absorb if it's not absolutely there. Hey, Truding. Trudy has come on. Putting absolutely saturated items in a wet bag will still allow moisture through. Damp, even wet nappies, etc. will keep the moisture in. I use my wet bags for swimming as long as I wring the nappies out prior to using them. I do not get wetness on the outside of the bag. Should I leave the contents in for a few more hours? I get a small amount of dampness. Use plant-wise as swipes out in the bags and they perform fantastic. Lee. Yes, Trudy, absolutely. So with the swipe system, which is our washable wipe system, if you put absolutely saturated wipes in there, it's going to leak through. So damp is fine. Damp nappies, and damp, I mean, it's not dripping, and if you squeeze it, water's not going to come out. So that's a great point, Trudy. I do love your photo. Alrighty, other boosters. So if you've got a bub who, because sometimes bamboo doesn't absorb as quick as it needs to, or maybe you don't like bamboo, or bub has a sensitivity to bamboo. So I find for Abigail, she needs a layer of cotton or microfiber on top of the bamboo because of her volume and fastness of doing a wee. And some kids are just like that. So you can add a layer. So having in your stash as well some options of hemp and cotton, or organic cotton. This has a stay dry layer on one side and your organic cotton on the other. These are the Bummies Deluxe boosters. These hemp boosters are your pumpkin butt boosters. They now come in 2 sizes. Or if you're looking for your microfiber, getting a really fantastic trim but thirsty microfiber. Sometimes adding the thinner ones adds quite a lot of bulk because you've got to add more and more layers. So these are the apple cheeks ones, and they have a stay dry layer. The white stitching side is the stay dry, and the red warning is the microfiber, because you should never put microfiber against baby's bum. Never. Because you'll end up with rashes. It draws the moisture away really well. Microfiber is great at drawing moisture. Not great at holding it, and that's why you put your bamboo or your hemp underneath, and there's a fabulous insert. Okay, so 3 things you need. You need your storage, you need your wet bag, and you need a range of boosters. So if Bub does all of a sudden decide to do that sleeping for 5 hours and you need more boosting, you've got it there. So usually it's 6 boosters is what they recommend. Grab a couple of the trifolds, grab a couple of extra microfiber if you like microfiber. If you don't, go for your organic cotton. It's very similar. All right, so they're the 3 things you absolutely need. Absolutely need. So when you're doing your shopping, you got your list. Hey, that might be a good blog actually. A shopping list for nappies. I'm going to write that down. Hang on. I'll write that down. How much? If I had that in the early days, it would have been set. That's a great idea. Look at that. I'm smart today. All right, so the rest of the stuff I'm going to show you are personal preference. Some parents use them, some parents don't. Now, some parents have a smaller wet bag. They're called clutch bags. Planet-wise do them. This one is Funky Fluff. It's a double pocket wet bag. It's for rapid out and about. So if you all of a sudden got to go out the door, having a nappy and a couple of wipes in here ready to go, and you just grab it. Some parents have those. It depends on your lifestyle. So there is an option, and some parents will hang it up at the door, ready to go. We have a smaller bag like this for Abigail if we're going on a quick little trip. All right, so that's an optional extra. Liners. Do I need liners? No, you don't need liners. Liners just make clean up easier. That's it. You don't actually need them. If you have a pocket nappy, or you use pre-folds, or you use some sort of nappy where the insert's quite wide, the apple cheeks, pockets, so yeah, baby behinds, apple cheeks, sometimes you're all in ones if it goes inside the pocket, like Bummies. So I'm talking about if you've got one layer and not multiple layers, like all in 2s, like the Funky Fluff, you can sometimes just spray it off, and that's it. That's all you need to do. So you don't necessarily need liners. But if you do have a phobia of poo, and I'm sure Trudy will agree with me here, you'll be over it within the first 3 weeks. So you've got disposable options that come in different sizes and different materials. Those you got to keep buying. Some parents like them, suck them up and go. We use these for Abigail because I can't cut these big enough, and just for Abigail we use these. For the boys we use fleece liners. The fleece liners you have on one side, it's a little bit can catch what's on there, so you want a good quality one. If it's gonna, you don't want something that's just gonna slide off, that's gonna be flat, so you don't use the flat side against baby's bum, you use the furry side against baby bottom. And this is a polyester and it's a stay dry, so it'll help you stay dry. So if you've got some nappies that are bamboo with no stay dry layer, adding one of these does two things: provides a stay dry layer and helps clean up poos. We have found cleaning up poos on these is really easy when you use a little squirt. Usually we just picked this up in the nappy like that, and then you lay it over the side of the toilet like that, and then you get the sprayer and go done. That's if your child's doing those nice little poos that only just end up here. If Bub does it everywhere, then that's another story. So sometimes for Abby we use these because they cover a larger area in her nappies. And anyway, so there's your options. So you don't have to use these. These are washable and reusable. You usually need one per nappy. So if you got 36 nappies, buy 36. And then you've got enough. You don't have to buy any more. Hello? Where did everyone go? Wow. Hello, I'm back. Let me know you're there. That was a bit strange. Hi. Alrighty. So the other thing is balms and creams. You don't necessarily need them, but they're good to have in the cupboard, ready to go. So you've got sticks that you can put on the bottom. I suggest you have one and label it bums, because you don't want someone to accidentally grab this and use it as a lip balm or on a sore on their arm, because usually a lot of the balms can be used as a skin for eczema, for not open wounds but healing wounds, scratches, eczema, dry skin, that's the word I'm looking for. So yes, Mandy, these are pumpkin butt. We've brought these in. There's natural, they're handmade, the lady who does it, and they're all natural ingredients and work fantastic. So we've been using, so that comes in tubs as well, and there's a stick, and there's a little stick too. It comes in lots of different ways. We use these for Abigail. Now with your creams, you have a couple of options. If you've got a child who has a really sensitive bottom, and you can usually figure that out before Bub comes along, as if you have sensitive skin. So if you find you sort of get rashes around your neck from polyesters, you know, so this one, so this shirt I do, so I've been doing this, I think has a polyester stitching in it, thread. This is cotton, but I think this is polyester, this thing, because I'm sort of, look like I've got a disease, but I don't. If you're like that, and you can go, oh, my kid might actually be a bit sensitive. If you think that, you can put just a light layer. It's just a little bit of a, no, it's not going to open, just a little bit on their bottom. So it's just like a little bit like when you put your moisturiser on. It just needs to be that thin. It doesn't need to be a big thick layer if you want to do a preventative for any of it, the wee or the poo touching their bottom. It's just a preventative if you want to do that. You don't have to do that because they shouldn't get a rash if you're changing often enough. And you've got materials against there and enough absorbency. So all those things in your wash routine is good. So you shouldn't really need creams unless they're sensitive or something's wrong. But if they have loose poos for a while because you've introduced a new food, you can provide a layer. Now, if they do get a red bum, quite a sore red bum, sometimes using the stick can hurt because sometimes these aren't always slide on nicely. Okay, if it's not a hot day and it's a little bit melted, you know, a little bit soft, it can hurt their bottom. So having a little tub where you can use your finger can assist, and put on a thicker layer. Okay, so when they do wee or poo, it's not going to touch the skin. Now, Rashes, if at any time you're concerned about any sort of rash, if there's broken skin, if it's bumpy, bub is in pain, go to your GP. Don't even think about it, okay? Because you don't want it turning into something else. So you can use the creams and the balms as a preventative, and you can use it when their bum's a little bit sore. So my poor Abby has had a bit of a sore bottom because she's done numerous number 2s in a row. So we've been putting this one on quite heavily to help, and it's helped her within a day. Within a day or so it should clear up as long as you put in quite a bit. So you will go through more when the rash is quite red. That's okay. You can always buy more. Now, these are Cloth Nappy Safe. Cloth Nappy Safe means the ingredients will wash out in your washing machine. That's what it means. You can still use your pseudo creams and your Benanthem, I think it's called. You can still use those. That's fine. What you want to make sure, this is when your liners come into it, using a liner will help it not getting on the nappy. So you want to make sure the nappy is covered where the cream is, and make sure it's not going to get on the nappy. Then otherwise, if that happens, you're going to have to sit and sort of work it out by hand, which is more work for you. One little tip we used to do is when let's say you had that really thick cream, but maybe it's like they get a bit of a infection or something, and you've got to use a steroid cream. What you can do is you pretend this is a disposable. Before you pull the nappy up through the groin and they're sitting on that liner, put this on first and just pat it onto their bum. So if they're sitting and their bottom's there, bring that up first and just sort of pat it, and it'll stick to their bum. Great point, Trudy. Use a couple of liners. You can use a couple of these or even a couple of these. Maybe you need to use 2 if it's right around the bottom, and put them side by side. You will probably need 2 or 3 of these for the disposable, because these are quite porous compared to these. Yeah, alrighty. Cleaning solutions to clean your baby's butt. So they're balms. Happy to answer any questions about rashes or balms or any of that. All right. Wiping baby's bum. So you can, once you've done cloth nappies, you may go wipes. Cloth nappy wipes. I mean, why wouldn't you? You're already doing the washing, okay? And they save you a ton of money, and there's no chemicals in them. There are a couple of options. We've got the swipes kits, which use water and a couple of drops of essential oil. Smells nice. And we've just got this one in from Apple Cheeks. And the reason we got it in is because it was going off online, and they usually do a little spray bottle, spray it on, and then wipe baby's bum. And the customers were getting annoyed at buying the little spray bottles, so they said, can we have a big refill pack? Which I like, so they didn't have to keep buying the bottles. It's still plastic. You'll be laughing once you switch. You go, why didn't I do this earlier? And then you can use it, and everything that I've shown you is reusable after you finish with cloth nappies. These become library bags, swim bags, as Trudy said. Your bigger bags become those big treks out if you go camping. I know Trudy took these for, not Trudy, Sally, who used to work with us, took these for camping. People have taken the really big bags. These on aeroplanes. Awesome. Oh. Trudy says, once you use cloth wipes, it's very, very hard to go back. They clean. Oh, where'd she go? They clean bub up so much better, and you can use it. Yes, I was at Trudy's place and I saw her well-loved wipes, and Trudy cannot let go of her wipes. She loves them. I've got some baby Behinds wipes that are starting to get holes in them, or a little bit threadbare is the word I'm looking for. You can't let go. You just go, why am I bothering? Oh, and once you do cloth wipes, we now use serviettes. We don't use disposable. And why do I use paper towel? I just use a rag and wash it. It's being washed anyway. So there you go. So cloth nappy accessories. You need a washing machine. You need your drying area, dryer, whatever. If you are in a part of Australia that you must use a dryer, look for a brand that says, yes, it could go in a dryer. And then you need to see if you can find that folding fairy. If you find one, let me know. But your top 3 accessories, you need to be able to store them somewhere. Wet bag, bucket. You need a wet bag. You need a wet bag. And think about how you're going to use the wet bag before you just start buying wet bags. Think about what you actually need. And you need boosters, which have all disappeared. So you need a range of boosters. It's good to have your trifolds and then your quick absorbing ones. So that can be your cotton hemp or your cottons or your microfiber, depending on what you prefer. And lastly, those are your top 3. And then you start going, yeah, I really want liners. I don't want to deal with the poo. It would be easier for cleanup. I have twins. I have a single. My husband works away. I work, whatever. Okay, balms depending on your skin sensitivity, and cloth wipes. That's it. That's it. Really easy. Okay, guys. If you've got any questions, pop them up below. I'll answer throughout the day and tomorrow. And next week, I think we've got our AMA, or the week after. So join me for the AMA. I'm hoping it's going to be a superhero theme. We've got some new prints coming in from Bummies. I'm waiting to see them. I know it's on its way. It's on its way. Okay. Alrighty. Have a wonderful Wednesday. In the group, we're still looking for reviewers for Seedling Baby. So pop in the group and come review some of their nappies and products. And there's a competition at the moment to win a superhero sandwich wrap as well. You just need to comment with your favourite superhero. Mine is Thor. Bye.